High school baseball, I think, is important to the Japanese because to them it's maybe the last bastion of amateurism. Kids playing for the pure love of the game, for the glory of their school, for the honor of their home district. And I think the people here in Japan really like that amateur side of the game. There's no money involved. There's no huge rights fees for broadcasts. There's not a lot of licensing of product or anything. It's really for the pure love of the game. And I think this appeals to the Japanese. And they've been doing it for so darn long, too. I think the high school tournament started back in 1912 and playing in Koshien since 1924. So it's got a long history, and it's got this history of these kids giving their all for the glory and honor of the school, diving into first base, and even when it's not called for, because that's expected of them. There's honor involved here and pride, and so it gets the Japanese people going. They all love this aspect of the game, I think. When Japanese people look at Koshien, I think they look at more than just baseball. It's a coming of age, a rite of passing, if you will, from boyhood to adulthood. It's almost a religion in the way I think the people look at it, being pure. The uniforms are still all white. The heads are still all cropped. There's no back talking to umpires. Kids take off their caps and bow to the umpire, even if the umpire's not so good, even if the umpire's made bad calls. And the coach is God. What he says, it's the rule. Never would you think of talking back. So it's not just a game. It's more of almost a religious rite in some respects for these kids to go to Koshien. It's the dream of any baseball player in this country, amateur player, up through high school, to go to Koshien. And if they win, it's the greatest glory there ever could possibly be. If they lose, you rarely see a kid that doesn't cry. Cry his heart out. And then they have this ritual of, taking a bit of the dirt from the infield of Koshien and putting it in a bag. And you better believe that they're going to treasure that their entire life, because getting there is very hard to do since it's so competitive. Out of almost 4,000 or 4,000 some high schools, the chances of going to Koshien are not that great for the average school. Some of the powerhouses may get to go again and again, but it's a lifetime dream. And if they get there, every win is cherished. And if they lose, they'll never forget the fact that they got there and treasure that dirt from even a losing game.